All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second official episode. As always, I'm Mitesh,
I'm Shoria.
and we got a couple of interesting topics for y'all today. So over the weekend, it was a pretty big fight. It was kind of the third rematch we've all been waiting for between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Shoria, do you have any initial thoughts? I mean, there's a lot to say, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I think first off, I was going into this expecting Deontay Wilder to actually surprise people. A lot of people were writing him off, saying, "Oh, he's gonna get knocked out even earlier than the second fight." I thought he'd last a bit longer, but I mean, I didn't expect the fight to be as crazy as it was. This isn't even recency bias. I think this was the best fight of the trilogy.
I completely agree. I mean, we saw so much heart from both fighters, and
Yeah.
I think what made it even, that much of an amazing fight is throughout the fight, there were so many different kind of twists and turns. And when you thought one person was winning, 30 seconds later, the momentum was just completely shifted.
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of fights, I mean, we were watching it together, and
Yep.
I could just tell both of us our jaws dropped
Yeah.
during moments of the fight, and when that happens in any sporting event, it's a real competition because that means surprising things are happening, and the fact that both guys got knocked down
Yep.
for the first time in the same fight, we've had Tyson Fury get knocked down in the first fight, Deontay get knocked down in the second fight, but the third fight, both of them got knocked down multiple times.
Yep.
It's an instant classic. I mean, how can you not love a back and forth slugfest like that?
Yeah, no, I completely, agree. And again, to exactly your point, the amount of heart that was in that fight. I mean, both of them warriors just wanted it so bad. And I mean, you could definitely sense and see their determination. And, to say the least, right, the hype around the fight was wonderful. The crowd was wonderful. Right, and the fight itself was wonderful. So I mean, if I had to rank it out of 10, man, I would say that was a 9.5 or a 9.
Yeah, I'd give it a full 10, bro.
Right? Yeah,
that was not only was it exciting, but it went 11 rounds. It pretty much it was as long of a war as you can possibly hope for. 11 rounds, 5 knockdowns.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask you, right? Did you think Wilder met your expectations, exceeded your expectations, or did you expect him to win and he didn't meet that standard?
And again, if I'm taking the previous 2 fights into account,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Wilder performed, pretty consistently. But they always say no matter how good you are in your life, there's always that one person that you might not be able to beat. And I don't know if that's because Fury maybe has a weight advantage, or maybe because of his build, right, the structure of his arm and his punches.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the fight, with Fury winning, I'd say it kind of went the way that I might thought it would, only the end result. But obviously everything in between was, unexpected. But it's Fury winning. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. So you say Deontay Wilder kind of performed consistently throughout the 3 fights. So obviously with the second fight, he got destroyed, but this fight, it was more competitive. Do you think Tyson Fury was then the inconsistent one? He performed better in the second fight and then worse this third fight?
Ooh, so that's a great point. So I think in the second fight, I don't think Wilder was really had the chance to showcase his true skill or his true boxing ability. So when I'm saying consistently, I guess it means relative to also his previous fights and just who Wilder is a boxer,
Yeah.
But actually, and again, that's a great point that you brought up. So I would say that Wilder, at least relative to the last fight, Wilder definitely outperformed himself.
Yeah.
But he performed consistently to relative to his fighting style that we've seen throughout his career.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, for him, that level of fighting should be expected.
Right.
Right. And I think I also agree with the fact that Tyson Fury in the second fight looked better than he's ever been.
Yep.
But this fight, compared to what his best was, I think he actually underperformed. I think he was a bit sluggish in the beginning rounds. I think towards the end, he was phenomenal. Like the second, not the knockout, the knockdown right before it was the most beautiful moment of the fight. I don't know, like the part, do you remember where he slips one of Deontay's punches and then comes with like a haymaker around the right, and Deontay Wilder just gets flattened. And I thought, like, man, like this guy, that's the difference between like Deontay Wilder, who's just like a puncher, and a boxer. Like the fact that he could dodge and then hit him, like I was just like, he deserves it, dude. He deserves the win. Deontay shouldn't have any excuses. He just take it like a man and accept Tyson Fury's better.
Yeah, you know, and again, to that point, because I was watching like the post interview that they had, you know, the day after, and you know, Fury said something, and I was thinking about it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it too. Is, you know, he was saying he respected the way that, you know, Wilder fought, but what he didn't respect, and Fury claims that this shows kind of the man that Wilder is after the fight, he claims that Wilder never came up to him, never shook his hand of the better man. And, you know, like, what are your thoughts on that? And like, why do you think that, you know, Wilder might have, you know, gone about that way?
Yeah. I mean, no hot takes for me. I feel like I'm echoing the opinions of a lot of people, but I feel like Deontay Wilder, you see who people are in their defeats, right? And the fact that second fight, Deontay Wilder acted like a complete, like, dosser.
Yeah.
And then in this fight, he also, he had kept the same energy. Like, at least, as you said, he's consistent, right? But like, he's just, I feel like, I don't want to call a 6 foot, like 230 pound man above him. But dude, honestly, he's kind of above, in my opinion. Dude, shake the man's head. He performed better than you. You performed well. He just performed better. Like, you know, there's nothing to feel bad about. The fact that okay, so little, you know, trivia, right?
Yeah.
Second fight, his corner throws in the towel, thinking, okay, dude, Deontay Wilder has taken enough punishment. Months afterwards, Deontay Wilder fires the trainer, telling him, you shouldn't have ever thrown the towel. This fight, that trainer is not there. He actually gets knocked out. Right. So his trainer probably saved, you know, a couple years off his life, or of his life, the second fight. And so, yeah, you know, just a series of bad decisions. I think Deontay Wilder is better in his own mind than he actually is. So I think it's a mix of delusion and grandeur. But he is a good fighter. Like, I don't want to shit on him too much. His performance was anything, but I think he is a bum.
No, I completely agree with that too. You know, I'd say, and like, that's a huge part of, you know, boxing too, and, you know, what kind of, and sports in general, right? Is that, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's in good sportsmanship, right? And it's, you know, it's kind of like an unsaid rule, that, you know, you be a good sportsman, you know, and you accept defeat, right? And you learn from it. You don't necessarily, you know, deflect or blame it on something else. But yeah, no, I'd definitely agree. And you know, there's something else that I kind of want to credit, you know, Fury for is, and it's a pretty calculated move, is, you know, we all know that after the second rematch, Deontay Wilder revealed that he had surgery, as he suffered a eardrum injury in his fight against Fury. And you know, one of the punches, I believe, that Fury you know, knocked Wilder down with was directly to that eardrum. And you know, again, as, you know, hurtful or as, like, vicious as it may sound, you know, at the end of the day, that just goes to show that, you know, when Fury's throwing his punches, you know, he's not just throwing to see whatever hits, right? It's like he knows exactly what he was doing and what he was aiming for, and it connected. So
yeah, no, I mean, it was a good point, like, bringing up Deontay Wilder post-fight, and it kind of shows, like, the difference between him and then Tyson Fury. Like, you know, despite the fact that he hasn't lost, so we haven't seen him in that position, I feel like he's always he keeps the same energy, like in victory or when there was a draw. He
Yeah.
respects the fight, he respects the fighter, and he's down to do it again. And I think that's how fighters should be, right? Like relying on this alter ego. I think just you get in your own head. Tyson Fury, I think that's why Tyson Fury is so good and able to stay so sharp is he genuinely likes boxing. He's not putting on a facade. So, he's free to he's free from all the, like media distractions and everything because he knows who he is and
Yeah. No, that's I completely agree. He's grounded,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
he doesn't let his ego take control of him. And I think like he's and he's talked about this openly, right? It's like his struggles with depression and like substance abuse in the past. And like he's used that as kind of an opportunity to for a lack of a better word, like humble himself, because he was talking about how at that point in time as well, he was world heavyweight champion. He had money, he had glory, he had everything he could have possibly wanted, but he still wasn't happy on the inside. And I would like to believe that kind of battle that he went through, that mental battle, kind of taught him and like reshifted his values so he could focus on things that I guess truly make him happy, or things that he's really passionate about, like boxing. And so to your point, right, like perhaps that might be I guess one of the many reasons as to why he's grounded, like relative to or some other boxers.
That was beautifully said, Tesh.
Thank you.
But yeah, I guess like a segue from like Tyson Fury's previous battles. Who do you want Deontay and Tyson to fight next now going forward? Because I think now their trilogy is done. Yep. I don't think they should fight again. Yep. Who do you want them to fight?
Oh man. Oh, and I hope this happens, is Anthony Joshua and Fury.
Hell yeah.
I wanna see that really bad. I know there was some back and forth over social media or like post fight. But I think that would definitely be a good spectacle to see. How about you?
Dude, okay, so I am in agreement that AJ should be involved in one of those two. The thing is, right now the hype has died for a lot of people with AJ versus Fury because he lost to Usyk.
Right.
But like it's a great chance to now pivot and have Deontay versus AJ. Or like Usyk versus Fury. Yeah. I think the fight to make, since Tyson Fury has been established as number one, maybe he should fight Usyk if he's willing to take the fight. I think AJ versus Deontay is now more interesting because they're both coming off losses. But an interesting, I just want to like throw out there, is Usyk versus Ruiz. These are both guys who have beaten Joshua. I think they're both around the same height-ish. Obviously, Ruiz is a bit heavier. But I think like, that would be a good fight. Like stylistically, I think both of them are more skilled than AJ. I think AJ is, the way he beat Andy Ruiz was a better strategy and better conditioning. But I'd be excited to see both of those guys fight.
Yeah, no, what, I'd agree. And that's a great point, because a part of me kind of forgot about, Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
After that AJ rematch, I think I don't know if hype died down, or, if he's just back in the gym grinding. But I would love to see another Ruiz fight, and hopefully a Ruiz comeback. I think like he's got a lot of potential, and I was actually watching some of his training videos, I believe like a month ago, and he's lost a good amount of weight. Like he's getting back.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, like I mean, you just like search it up now, man. Like relative to how heavy he may have been when he fought Joshua, you can definitely see some like weight loss. Difference. Yeah. And I was watching some of his like sparring videos on YouTube, like post that weight loss, and you know what, man, like the man looks relatively quicker than when he once was. So I would love for him to get back, and as you mentioned, even like fighting Usyk, right? or even like fighting another heavyweight, right? Just kind of getting him on there. I would love to see that.
Yeah, no, that'd be actually amazing. He looks in way better shape now.
Right, right.
So yeah.
And actually, to kind of pivot off of that, I want to hear your opinion. Like, so, it may or may not be obvious, right? But after he lost or I guess one of the reasons that many attribute his loss to the, like Anthony Joshua, right, in his second rematches, they're saying that he just got way too content, right, after kind of his first win. He was getting a bunch of great, sponsorships, and he may have, not been caring too much about his, diet or training. That's a lot of speculation, but would you say that may have been the case, or do you think Joshua just kind of upped his game that second rematch?
I think it was a bit of both, but I guess, and like to not give a kind of running away answer, is I think it was AJ who won the fight rather than Andy Ruiz who lost.
Yeah.
It did help that Andy Ruiz was like way fatter than the first fight.
Yeah.
But also AJ's strategy, I think, was sound. He learned that, okay, Andy Ruiz has faster hands than me. If we get into a slugging exchange, I'm probably going to get hit more. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep him away and jab at him. And yeah, it might not be the most exciting fight, but it guarantees a win. Yeah. So I think even with this new, more in shape Andy Ruiz, I think the AJ that, we know, would still be able to beat him.
Yeah, no, I think that's a wonderful answer, man. Like, yeah, no, I wonder if in our lifetime we'll ever get to see those two go at it again. Like, depending on how Ruiz performs in his upcoming fights, but I think, assuming like Ruiz kind of keeps on his training and track regimen, is definitely a possibility. I would love to see another fight between them.
Yeah. And then also, like, I guess another interesting thing is the fact that once you're a heavyweight, there are no limitations how big you can get, right? Like, Andy Ruiz could have weighed like 30, 40, 50 more pounds than AJ. And they still would have fought. So, and this also ties to Tyson Fury and Wilder. The fact that there's a 40-pound difference is an enormous advantage to Fury.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there should be, like, more defined weight divisions throughout heavyweight?
So you're talking about like an upper bound limit then? Like,
yeah.
So I'm actually wondering though, like, and like I'm sure like you already know this too, but maybe not, because if you weigh 300 pounds, that seems more than like a detriment, than to actually like work in your advantage per se. But maybe because it is a detriment, should they have a lower bound for a super heavyweight? Maybe I'm talking between like like 240 to 300 pounds maybe, because if you're like 270, and to give you an example, right, when Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua in 2019, he was 283 pounds. That's a lot of pounds, man. Yeah. And it's like, should he really be fighting? Like, is it safe for Joshua to be fighting a guy who's, more ripped and therefore more agile, right? Because at that weight of 283 pounds, you can't really move that swiftly, So like,
so I guess, like, in my opinion, I'm thinking like maybe instead of Andy Ruiz just packing on pounds, what if there's like this bigger guy like Tyson Fury, right? Fighting someone like Usyk, who's like a lot shorter and just a lot smaller frame. It just feels unfair to me that such a big guy is like the heavyweight weight, like, floor is 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So anything above 200 pounds, like, you could have a guy like Shaq fight in heavyweight against someone like Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Or, like these guys. So I think they should have it like maybe the limit is a bit more lenient. Maybe like there's 200 to 250 and then 250 to 300 or something.
Yeah.
But I think weight divisions, like, it's just such an enormous advantage to just be huge. Like you don't need to be as skilled, because you're fighting smaller guys.
That's true, actually. That's true. And perhaps the power too that's packed behind each punch, right? Like it takes one punch to connect, right? That could stun the opponent or injure them, and therefore affect their, like their future performance in the next couple of rounds, right? It just takes one punch, one connection. Like, yeah, no, I definitely agree. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Like moving on to like the next topic, right? And this might be getting into a bit of a UFC, but we're seeing that the Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards fight in UFC 269, right? It's kind of finally coming to life, and I'm looking forward to see Masvidal getting back after that loss that he just had.
Yeah, after he got slept.
Yeah, I know. So I want to see. I mean, he's always been hungry, but I just have a feeling, man, that we're gonna see an even hungrier Masvidal. Looking for some sort of vengeance or something to like prove himself on that stage. So I'm pretty excited to see what he has to showcase.
Yeah. Wait, when was he supposed to fight?
So let's check it out right now. But I believe they said UFC 269. So that'll be in either November or December.
I think December.
Yeah, December 12th, inside of the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, that's gonna be so lit.
I know.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, dude, I'm putting my money on Jorge Masvidal.
I am too. I would have to agree with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of hype, and also like I think we're both fans of him.
Yeah.
But like, okay, he lost against Uzman. Everyone loses to Uzman. Like that's not really a surprise.
Yep.
He just like against Nate Diaz. You compare his fight and like Masvidal's fight, or like he's fighting Leon Edwards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So like Leon Edwards' fight against Nate Diaz and Masvidal's fight, Masvidal looked way better. Like it wasn't even close. So
I'd agree.
I think Masvidal's just a better striker. Yeah.
But get this. I agree with you, but Vegas disagrees with us.
Yeah.
You know what they've got? They've got Masvidal clocking in at positive 180 odds, right? You bet 100, you would win 180 back, right? And then they got Edwards, right, jumping out at negative 210, man. So they're putting Masvidal down as the underdog in this fight.
Damn.
I know. And so I think I would, like I said, the hunger, man. I'm hoping that, Masvidal kind of unleashes that, that little bulldog he's got inside of him.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, right, like I'm a much bigger fan of Masvidal than Leon Edwards, so I haven't seen that many Leon Edwards fights.
Yeah.
But, right, like, who has he really beat? Like, he decisions everyone. Like, Rafael dos Anjos, right? Like I just have his like fight record up right now.
Yeah.
And okay, he won against Rafael dos Anjos, who's like, a bit past his prime, I'd say. He won via decision. He beat a washed up Donald Cerrone. And he just decisioned all of these like washed up guys. I think Masvidal's faced tougher competition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd still go with Masvidal.
No, I'd definitely agree. And I would say, and like we can check now, but it looks like Edwards came off from, and like maybe this doesn't matter as much, but again, I just have this feeling like, like Masvidal is just going to be another beast because he just wants to prove to everyone after that last loss that he still got it. That kind of hunger within him. So I mean that'll be really fun to watch.
And go ahead.
No, go for it.
So yeah, I mean like that's not all the new fights, right? Like so in the next UFC event, October, I think it's late October, there is who was it? Do you remember who's fighting on UFC 268? There was a new fight. Oh, yeah. Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen.
Oh, wait, yo. It's Wait, dude, it's Uzman versus Covington.
Wait, is that two? Oh, sorry, UFC 267. My bad.
Dude, bro, I got excited. I was like, hey, yo, but hey, that's another fight we gotta talk about though too. After this.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, it's how do you even pronounce that name? Wait, it's in Abu Dhabi? Damn.
Yeah. So UFC 267, there are 3 interesting fights, right? There's Islam Makhachev, who's like Khabib's protege, versus Dan Hooker, who literally he fought like a couple weeks ago, and he's fighting again in a couple weeks, which is insane. Insane.
Really good.
There's Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen, which is basically like the people's champ of bantamweight. Whoever wins that is basically who people will think is the best at 135 pounds. And there's Jan Blachowicz, the only man who's beaten Adesanya. Versus Glover Teixeira, who is the oldest motherfucker on the UFC.
Oh, I am pumped for that. Wait, so has Blachowicz not fought since the Adesanya fight? Or did he have one fight in between that?
No, I think that was his last fight.
Wow. I'm very curious to see how he performs. Wow. No, that'll be such an interesting fight, man. And it's a day right before Halloween too. So it's perfect.
Yeah. It's gonna be spooky.
Indeed. Look at that. I'm looking right now. I mean, it's not that much of like an advantage, but you know, between Blachowicz and Glover, they Blachowicz is 216 pounds. So he's got a 10-pound advantage. But then a 2-inch reach advantage as well, and a 2-inch leg advantage. So I mean, I would say that it's not too much, right? But I guess it seems like he's the bigger man though.
Yeah.
Just by a bit.
He's the bigger man, the younger man, I think the more powerful man.
Wow. Let's check the odds for that right now. Let me check it out.
Yeah. And I guess while you're doing that, I'll just talk about the Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. So this is basically Sandhagen had to fill in. This was supposed to be for the title. But Aljamain Sterling pulled out, who is the current title holder. So now it's going to be Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen just is coming off a loss to TJ Dillashaw. It was very close, though. So these are basically the 2 top-ranked guys. And it's interesting because Corey Sandhagen, fighting at 135 pounds, he's 5'11". He is like the tallest guy in 135. Peter Yan is, I think he's like closer to 5'5" or something.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, so it's literally like half a foot advantage.
That is a big advantage, right? Like, I mean, that sounds like a huge advantage, man. Like,
it's huge. So I'm very interested to see how Peter Yan overcomes that, because in my opinion, he is the best 135er right now. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that extra height, reach, just overall length.
And as everyone knows, right, like it's easier to punch down than it is to punch upwards, you know, like so I mean, that in itself is a huge advantage, right? And it's not just like a 1 or 2 inch difference. Like, I mean, it's relatively significant, right, at that level. So, and looks like they're both coming back from a loss, you know, so you know, both, I mean, obviously everyone's hungry, but I can see even more of a reason of them trying to go at it. So, dude, this looks like an event for the ages. I'm looking forward to 267. But yeah, hey, you know, to that point of the odds, man, check this out. So, I mean, and maybe we already knew this, is the odds right now for Blachowicz are -250 to win. For Glover, it's +200. So obviously, right, Blachowicz is the favorite.
That makes sense,
Yeah, but also get this fun trivia fact I got. So if Glover, you gotta help me pronounce his name, man.
Teixeira, I don't know.
Teixeira. Ooh, damn. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty fluid actually. Nice. Teixeira. If he wins, he will be the oldest UFC champion or I guess as one of the oldest UFC.
I mean, dude, the man's is old, like
He's
as
41.
hell. Like he is 41 years old now.
41, man. And John is what, in his early 30s? Jan is in his early
Yeah, well,
30s?
he's 38, I think, so he's also
he?
not that young.
Okay.
But 41 is still old, dude.
It's old, man. Damn. Dude, I've had professors that, I mean, I've had younger professors, but man, like, so what's a good example? Yeah. 41. Hey, you know what? More power to him, man. Hey,
Yeah.
and actually, I want to run this by you, right? And it's not, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm actually forgetting this. You're going to kill me. I know the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. He's retired now. You definitely know him. Not George St. Pierre.
Not Habib.
Huh?
Habib or
No. But like he's on George St. Pierre's level. The Spider, man.
Oh, Adesanya. No, sorry. Anderson Silva.
Yes, Anderson Silva. Yes, okay. So I heard that he wanted to continue fighting in the UFC, but Dana White wouldn't allow him to, saying that it was a risk to his own health.
You know what?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No. And I was gonna say I remember Dana even making a comment after that saying, any fight organization that accepts him or allows him to fight, like shame on them, basically. So it seemed like he took a pretty adamant stance.
Yeah, because so the history with Anderson Silva, right? He was like the unquestioned GOAT because he had the longest title run ever in UFC history. Then he has that freak shin bone accident, like his shin bone snaps in half on some Kevin Ware type shit.
Yep.
Since then, he loses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the last 8 fights. Wow.
So that injury looks like it kind of, closed the. I mean, I don't want to say because it sounds harsh, but kind of helped end a chapter for him, right? Like. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think it did, and.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, with MMA, you need to be loose. You need to be, kind of fluid on your feet. Mm-hmm. In boxing, I don't think you have to be as fluid. So I think now that he's in boxing, he's doing pretty well. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say he can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of MMA, I think he is done.
Yeah. No, I'd agree too.
But real quick, I guess. Before we kind of wrap up, did you want to talk about UFC 268, Usman versus Covington?
I did, yes. Yeah. And I think especially Usman, right, coming back from his dub, right, against Jorge Masvidal, right?
Yeah.
That'll be another opportunity for him to, I guess, prove to everyone why he thinks he's the best in the sport, and perhaps rightfully so.
Yeah, no, he's number 1 pound for pound, and he deserves it, dude.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? I'm torn because I like Usman.
Yeah.
But I also kind of like Covington. He's just so entertaining.
He is.
And the thing is, right? Usman is so dominant. If he wins this fight on November 6th, the division is pretty much done. It's like Kamaru Usman has lapped fighters at this point. So for the division's sake, for it to remain entertaining, I kind of want Covington to win. Yeah.
So just so there's more ups and downs. Because what fun is it if the hero wins all the time?
Yeah, dude, the hero's gotta lose at some point, right? The man hasn't lost since his second fight.
Oh man, imagine what an upset that would be, though. Can you imagine?
Huge.
Yeah. Especially now, and again, I'm trying to find the odds for Usman because I'm very, very curious if Vegas thinks the same way that we do.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Usman wasn't at least a negative 200.
Oh, and you got it spot on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at you, bro, the sidekick. Yeah, he's negative 240.
Okay, yeah.
And Colby Covington is positive 220. So there's quite a discrepancy between the two.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, I think that'll definitely be another one for the books. And I did want to bring up one quick thing, and because this guy's been such a recent UFC phenomenon, is Paddy the Baddy. Please tell me you know him.
Yeah, of course, dude.
Paddy the Baddy. What a legend. I mean, how many fights has this man fought so far?
In the UFC, one.
And he's become an overnight sensation. Dude, he's just one of the dudes, you know? Like he likes to kick it back with his friends and his homies, and have a couple of beers, and maybe it looks like after that first fight he's had a couple like burritos too daily, but like he's definitely looks like a cool guy, man.
I know, dude. Like in terms of entertainment, he is like up there. Like
yeah, I
think he's like Bisping level of entertainment.
Yeah, no, hey, I'd have to agree, man. Like I was watching a clip, and I think I don't know if he like referred to like the people at Instagram as like lizards or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you lizards, and like his accent, just makes it even better.
Yeah. It's just he's hilarious, and he has knockout power for sure. So he's going to be an entertaining fighter.
He will be. Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to see like his next fights, and more importantly than that, his press conferences. I really want to see him talk shit with other people.
I'm very excited, and in fact, I'm trying to see if he has another fight queued up because I want to make sure that I'm there for that.
Yeah. I don't think he has any scheduled so far.
You are right. Yeah, not yet. In fact, this week they said they're yet to be made public, but they're saying that his next fight will be in Vegas. But yeah, they're still finalizing it. I would love to see it though.
Okay. And I guess last thing I just want to say is Ruiz versus Zhang Weili. I'm picking Ruiz to win. I think her skill set, striking, jiu-jitsu is just better than Weili's, so I'm locking in money on Ruiz for UFC. I think it's 268.
Yes, sir. That'll be a fight to watch as well. I'm checking the it is 268, yeah?
Yeah.
It is. There we go, yeah. There we go.
All right.
11-4, 21-2-0. Ooh, damn. 21-2, man. What a record.
Yeah.
That's really good. She's a beast. Yeah, I'm looking forward. But hey, you know what? As always, time will go by. These fights will go by. And we'll always have content to talk about. So that's the beauty.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see in boxing. But yeah, hey, you know what, man? Thank you for your time, and thank you if you're listening and tuning in. Thank you for your time. And until next time.